So, it's time to start the podcast. We're going to do that right now. Okie dokie, guys. Time for another episode on the DoTube podcast. Let's get into it. First, I need to change this lighting so that you can see me better. If we take this guy, carefully reposition it. I think that's better. All right. Next episode of the DoTube podcast. Here we go. Lighting is set up now. Is my microphone recording? All right, microphone is recording. Now we have our audio double backed up, so we're not losing it again. That's annoying. Video footage before, I don't know, the episode that we're editing right now, half of the podcast, there's just no audio. Nothing. It's not backed up. It's not recorded there. I'm like,
What the f*** is this? I don't know.
Do not know what happened. This is a pretty simple standard thing. It automatically connects, and then I'm double recording on here, so I have a backup of it. For whatever reason, it's not there. It wasn't there. Can't find it anywhere.
Thing's got 3 speeds. Here, there, and gone. It's got the power of infinity and beyond.
I have video, but I have no audio, so we had to cut that, and you're like, well, that's just what happens at the beginning. There's things that just happen, so I don't know if we need to triple record stuff. I don't know. It just seems like a weird fluke kind of thing. Whatever. We're just going to keep moving on because sometimes things just happen and you need to move on. Like that noise. We're just going to move on. Into my notes here. Where's my notes? All right, guys, I'm a little bit stressed out right now. I am leaving in 7 days. This is clearly not done. And there's a lot of stuff to do. Quite a lot of stuff to do. So I've had a lot of 2 a.m. nights recently. I'm very I would say I'm overextended financially. This thing cost way more money, way more time than I was anticipating to spend, like 3 times the amount, which when the numbers get bigger, that number just gets way bigger. It's like, I now understand why people sell these things for $250,000, because you're like, good golly.
Jesus Christ.
That's wild. Totally wild. So that's a new one that I'm learning to understand and accept. Great. One of the things that I've totally forgot to do, but I've started to get all that in order, is just insuring this thing. There's a lot of stuff in here that needs insurance. I didn't have the brain space. I hadn't thought of that. And then my accountant was like, do you have any of that set up? No. But I do now, so that's good. I'm glad that's getting figured out, because I just wasn't even in my mind. I was so focused on build this, design this, engineer things so that it's smart and it makes sense, and like, I don't know, when you're thinking about that stuff, you're just not thinking about other stuff. So I'm glad that's got that. I've had some help in that department of things that I just wasn't thinking of. So everything is coming together on this whole thing. If you want to watch build videos of it, it's on the Eppic Industries YouTube channel. That's where my whole business and everything here. I used to make custom cars, all that kind of stuff. I still do lots of customizing thing. And then I put it on YouTube also. Go watch that channel over there. You can follow along with the build video of all this stuff, and it's pretty cool. There's lots of fun stuff going on in here. Let's see. Quick little hoo-hoo of what I still have to do. I have to finish the ceiling. I started putting my trim in yesterday. And the trim is what holds up the ceiling panels. So I'm doing that. I have to run all my electrical, which is a huge endeavor. So I have to go reassemble my solar panels and my Starlink and my roof vent and all that. I have to seal all the spots where everything comes in through the roof. And then I have to run the electrical into here. Then I have my power inverter. I have to mount that on the roof, and then I have to mount the big old battery on the wall. But around that battery, I'm building cabinets and stuff out of aluminum, like storage space, so I can store all my camera gear, all my equipment, everything that I'm going to have. So that takes a whole lot of engineering there. Luckily, actually, I had a friend, I needed a little bit more aluminum because I didn't have quite enough to repurpose everything in here, but one of my buddies, the guy who did the powder coating, he's like, oh yeah, I got tons of that here. Like, come grab what you need. I was like, sweet, okay. And then I don't have to pay retail price that I would at the hardware store where it's $1 million a foot. He just gives me his price. He buys it in bulk, so they just have tons of it there. And he's like, yeah, just come take what you need, tell me what you need, and I'll charge you what I have to pay for it. Like, it's fine, no problem. It's literally saved me a pile of money. Like, a pile of money. And all all of that comes into play now because this thing is cost way more than I thought. Like extremely amounts more than I thought. So I'm eating the bullet on that one a little bit. Had to, for the first time in how long's it been? For the first time in about 20 years. First time in 17 years I have borrowed money from somebody other than my parents. Yeah, it needed to happen. It needs to get done. This is a huge project and it's a big endeavor. It's a big undertaking for the business, but I believe that it's going to do some pretty amazing stuff. So it's a risk that I'm taking, and here we go. So, oh yeah, I also have to hook up all the electrical and everything. So all these wires here, these all go to the lights in the roof, but they also go to the signal lights and the tail lights in the back and the flashing lights on the side and all that stuff. You know, like that's a lot of stuff to stuff. So because there's no wiring diagram for the whole thing, every ambulance is custom built. They like pre-make panels and then they just plug everything in. But I'm not using that panel. I'm making my own panel because everything is different in here now. So I have to trace every single wire individually. Every single light has its own circuit. Whew, that's a lot of work. That's going to take a long time. Main one being I have no signal lights or brake lights. I need that before I leave for sure. So I'm going to have to hook up, I have to figure out which wires are which, and then I have to hook that up and make that all work and all that jazz. And then the whole solar panels to inverter to battery, and the battery is a 48-volt system, but this is all like 110 or 12 volts. So like there's lots of changing voltages and that kind of stuff, and how do you make all that work, and where's all the right switches, and then you want to get the engine to charge the battery too when you're driving in case the solar isn't enough to charge the battery. Okay, what do you do there? And then you plug it into shore power, like you plug it into an extension cord, then that thing has to automatically switch and all that stuff. So I do have lots of that in play. I just got to figure out how it works and make it all work. So there's lots of work there. And then also I need to update my website. Talking with my business coach this morning, and he's like, if you're marketing to the dirt world, like you should maybe change some of your imaging, like the first thing people see. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's been on my to-do list. Haven't had time to do it. That's something that I want to make sure that I get done before I get down to Texas, where I'm meeting all the people that are in the dirt world. That's where it's like a big, huge gathering of dirt world people. And it's like, here's my business card. Go to my website, and there's not a picture of anything dirt world. There's just a picture of me holding a camera. And you're like, okay, it's kind of relevant, but this business, Eppic Media, is there to highlight the construction world, the dirt world. Like, that should be the first thing people see on my website. I know it. It's one of those, what's more important, changing my website or getting myself a vehicle that can get me down to Texas to meet all the people? One or the other. So, we got to make that happen. I'm in some peer groups now, too, so talking with those guys. Why do I have that in there? I have to do peer groups? Oh no, I'm so stressed and there's lots of stuff. So then talking with guys that are also going down to the dirt world, and it's like we're starting to connect. Now we're all getting excited about it. There's energy flowing and excitement happening. And then going to the dirt world to receive all of this knowledge. There's incredible speakers there. It's going to be an amazing event. But if my mind is not clear and rested and ready to take it all in, then I almost feel like I'm wasting that opportunity a little bit. And I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to get all of this done, but maintain my mental clarity so that I can maximize my time while I'm down there, because I know it's an incredible opportunity. And along with that, I also need to just practice my talking skills. There's going to be a ton of business owners down there. I'm a business owner. One of the things that I'm not great at, selling. I am amazing at becoming friends with everybody. I get invited to the craziest scenarios because people, they love me instantly. They trust me. There's friendship that's built there right away. But if I'm honest, I suck at selling. I'm not good at closing the deal. I'm friends with 10,000 people, but closing the deal, or making the money that comes into the bank account, not my strong suit. I'm not great at it. I have done it. I have to do it out of necessity, but I'm not great at it. So I want to practice talking just so I become better at that. That's kind of on my to-do list. And I mean, one of the ways you get better at doing stuff is just doing it. So that's on my to-do list, is talk, get better at selling. Speaking of selling, Trump just canceled all trade with Canada. This is why I'm trying to leave Canada. Canada is a sinking ship. Anybody that lives here and they don't support me leaving, it is the weirdest thing. Like, if I say anything about that on the internet, people on the internet are so diehard stuck to this country, they're gonna hold on for dear life as the Titanic sinks. And you're like, what are you doing? And like, I don't like to relinquish hope, but at the same time, we've been in hell for 10 years and it's not looking like it's getting any better. Trump literally just canceled all trade with Canada, their number one trade partner, other than China. But no, we might have been more than China. I can't remember for sure. So does that not say anything to the Canadian people? Like, I didn't vote for the government that's in play right now, and it's been horrible ever since Trudeau got in. Just, ugh. So I'm trying to leave. That's all I'm trying to say is I'm trying to leave. I don't want to hold on to a sinking ship. I get it that if you have families here and you've built a life here and all that stuff, to just uproot that and leave, like, that's not an easy thing to do. But people all over the world do that because I want to get away from the grass is greener somewhere else. That's always, there's that mentality of the grass is always greener somewhere else. But is it actually better once you're there? Well, I think we're at that point now where, yeah, we've gone downhill so far, the grass is actually greener somewhere else, and it's not just a nice vacation. Like, I got a quote from a guy yesterday to do some business, and I was like, okay, if I was an employee at a company, there's no way I could afford you to do your 3 minutes of work that you're going to do this certain thing about my business. Like, it's not even feasible. The price that people get paid for their time versus the cost of everything, it doesn't make sense. The math doesn't math. Like, that's why I started running my own company again, because I knew I was capped as an employee. Like, I can only make this much. Cool, that means my quality of life is going to be here. I want my quality of life to be here. Now, my quality of life is here now that I've started business, because when you're building a business, gosh, you put everything, all your time, all your assets, all your money, everything goes into building that business so you have a strong foundation so that it can grow and then you can make money. So you go from employee to start a business and you're like, I'm almost dead every single day. This is insane. But once you surpass that employee stage, then you get up to here and you're like, oh, okay, now the air is clear. It just takes a bunch of years to get there, and it's a rough journey. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. But also being an employee is not for everybody. I didn't want to build someone else's empire for the rest of my life, and so I'm doing it myself. And that's the life that I want to live. So build the life that you want to live. It's worth your time. You only get one life here, so make the most of it. That's what I say. That's what I'm doing. So, as I was saying, Trump canceled all trade with Canada. Canada is a sinking ship. I've known this for a while. I went down to Florida beginning of the year to test the waters of being down in America. Can I build a business down there? Talked with some people that actually were like from this area. They're down in Florida, and they're like, yeah, I've been down here for 10 years. I love it. It's awesome. It's like I'm flourishing. Business is awesome. Cool. So let's just keep on going down that path. So I had to come back here. My dream was to build one of these things for the longest time, like probably 5 years. My dream has been to do the whole van life thing. And I finally pulled the trigger on it after going to Florida and being like, yeah, you know what? I think I could do this. I went and looked at property down there. I was even going to buy property and just like, oh, I could fly back and forth. Flights are pretty cheap to Florida. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in one place, then like I have to buy a car down there, and like just getting around there logistically, and like what do I do with a car when I come back here? You got to find a place to store it, all that stuff. I was like, I would sooner just have my house that drives around, and then I'm not stuck in Florida. Like, Florida's great, but there's so much more of America that I want to see, and Canada. I want to tour through Canada too. So that's why I'm building this thing, so that I can just take my house with me everywhere that I go, and I'm free to roam the planet. So that's the plan. Still is the plan. The plan is slightly changing. There's a romantical interest in my life now. So that one's like, okay, let's adjust the plan to incorporate another person. Very excited about that. And yeah, there's some cool things that are possibly coming for me in that department, which I love. I'll talk about that in the future yet. That's actually all that I have for my notes, because there is so much stuff to do, and I'm just like, I'm not in a rush to get anywhere. I'm in a rush to get all of this stuff done. So we're going to end it there, and I'm going to get back to work. Next thing I'm doing, I'm putting ceiling pieces in here so that the ceiling doesn't fall down. After that, solar panels. I got to bolt all my solar panels together, bolt it to the rails, hook all that stuff up so that the top of this thing is watertight. It can be outside if it needs to be, and that's just one more step towards the finish line. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.